Ben Gitty Baker.
Hey there, it's Glenn.
And we're here today to talk to you about how to tune your 3-string cigar box guitar to an open G GDG tuning. That's the tuning that we've been creating a lot of tablature for, that's been posted on glenwatt.com and cigarboxguitar.com. So we just wanted to go over the basics for those of you who might not be exactly clear how to get your 3-string cigar box guitar in tune. We're going to show you how to do it today. Before we get started showing you how to tune your guitar, I just want to say that if you're just playing by yourself, then having your guitar tuned exactly to the standard pitches isn't as important. As long as you have each string tuned correctly in relation to each other, it should sound good. The other thing I want to say is that having the right strings on your cigar box guitar makes a big difference to what you can tune it to. And if you're uncertain what strings you should put on your cigar box guitar, I encourage you to check out the offerings of our Southbound String Company brand, available on CBGs.com. Alright, so the first tuning method we're going to show you is when you're tuning to another guitar, or you're tuning to a series of pitches or strings plucked in a video, such as this one, or to another guitar you have, to a piano, it doesn't matter, but you're using your ears to listen to a pitch and then try to match it with your string. So to demonstrate that, Glenn's going to pluck his low G string, which is the topmost string on your cigar box guitar when you're holding it for playing, and then I'm going to try to get mine in tune with it. So you can hear that. Now I'll pluck mine. You can hear that my string is a good bit lower in pitch than Glenn's. I'm trying to get mine in tune with what he's playing. So because my string sounds low or flat, I need to tighten it to try to get it up to that pitch. And as you tune or train your ear, as you tighten that string, you'll hear it getting closer to the pitch you're trying to reach until it should be pretty close to unison. So now both of our guitars should be hitting the same note. I might be a little sharp, so bring it back down. So we're pretty close to unison. Being within a small percentage of each other is usually good enough. Now the opposite of that is if there's a string on your guitar that's too tight, and so the pitch is higher than you want it to be. So you can hear now that my string is higher in pitch than Glenn's, so I'm going to loosen it to lower the pitch and bring it down to match his. And that's pretty close to unison there. Alright, so the other method for tuning by ear is to basically tune an instrument to itself. And it's easier on a fretted instrument like these, but it also works on a slide instrument if you get your slide in just the right place. Basically what you're doing is you're going to hold down a string at a particular fret so that the pitch it produces should match the next string. So on the 3-string GDG cigar box guitar, what Glenn's going to do is fret the low G string at the 7th fret. And the pitch that makes happens to be D, which is the next string. So if he plays one and then the other, you'll hear that the pitch produced by the two strings is the same. Now if his D string was off a little bit, maybe drop that flat a bit, you can hear that there's a difference in pitch there, and by tightening the tuner, it'll bring that up until they're in unison. So when fretting at the 7th fret on your low G string, it should produce the same pitch as the next string, D. And then that same principle is carried forward on the D string. If you fret it at the 5th fret, it should make a pitch that matches the G on the bottom or the higher G string. So by doing that, by starting at the 7th, tuning your D string to your G string, and then going up and tuning your high G to your middle D, you can get a guitar basically tuned to itself. Now, if your low G string didn't start off on true G, then the whole thing isn't going to be in tune to, say, another instrument that you might want to play with, but it'll be close enough for jamming by yourself. So next, what we're going to show you is a more precise way that doesn't really require your ear at all, and that is to use a digital chromatic tuner, such as the ones we sell on CBGitty.com, to get your guitar exactly in tune. With one of these, there's no guesswork. If it says it's on, it's pretty much on. So we're going to pause the video here and get a good close-up of me making use of this so you can see how it works. Alright, so here you can see a view of the digital chromatic tuner clipped to the headstock. Now, getting it set on the correct settings is important. Basically, you want it to show C, little C up here in the upper right-hand corner, which stands for chromatic. It has a number of other modes, but chromatic is the one we want. And then this number should be on 440. And if you look in the instructions manual that comes with these tuners, you'll be able to see how to do that. So now that I have the tuner attached and plugged in, I'm going to hit my low G string here, which is the top string when you're holding your cigar box guitar. And you'll see that it'll show you the note that it thinks it's closest to, and there's a little needle that moves. So I'm going to start tightening this string, and you'll see it goes from E to F, F sharp, and then finally I start to approach G, and you can see that the color changes to green when it's close to dead on. And usually you'll see a little variation from when you first pluck to when as the string slows down, but as long as that screen is mostly green when you're plucking, you know you're pretty close, or close enough to having that in tune to that low G. Now the middle string, which is supposed to be tuned to D, you can see right now is registering at a C sharp. So I want to tighten that up a little bit. And you'll see now it's turning green and it's showing D. So the first two strings of my cigar box guitar are now in tune. Now the third one, the higher G string, is showing a G sharp. So that's actually a little too high. So I'm going to loosen that string up a little bit to bring it down towards G. And I've got my green screen. So now as I strum all three strings, you can hear that they sound pretty good and in tune with each other, and I can be pretty certain that I'm ready to start playing. Well, now that we've got our guitars in tune, perfectly tuned to GDG, we're ready to give them a little try and do a little jamming here to see how they sound. So, are you ready? Hope you enjoyed it.